Hey guys, this is just a update on the X6, this X Pro. Like I say, it's still a great little bike, for the price point. But just wanted to compare it, to the CRF 150, the R. And the R probably looks a little bit bigger, but it's actually not. When you get on the X6, it's a little bit taller. It may be because you can't really set the sag as good on it because I think it's got a little bit heavier spring than the 150 does. But anyway, there's kind of a comparison to the two bikes. I'll go ahead and put the other side here so you can see. Yeah, she's a little dirty. We've run about 4 gallons through her, and pretty much no issues to really speak of. The more we ride it, the more some little things become more annoying than others. And what I am going to say is the motor is it vibrates. It vibrates really bad. When you get up high into it, like I say, I had my daughter and my grandson out there. They were practicing hole shots against each other. He has a little CRF 125 F. And this bike right here will hold its own against the 125. But it really, really is buzzy. And another thing too we found out is when you go to shift it, say if you're only about 50% RPM or something like that, the gears are spaced a little too wide in it, I believe, and you're really not back into the power. So what we ended up doing though is it had a 41 tooth rear sprocket on it, and the biggest one I could find that would fit on here was a 48. And the way I come up with that was the CRF 125 takes off easier than this one does. My daughter had a little bit more trouble, learning the clutch with this one. So we went ahead and I compared the gearing on it, and CRF 125 has a 49 tooth rear gear on it, and both of them have 13s on the front, I believe it was. So anyway, that's what I did, was I went ahead and swapped that out, and makes a lot of difference. Definitely does. It takes off infinitely easier for my daughter now. She really don't stall. And another thing we found too was the handlebars were kind of too low. So what we did was we went ahead and put some spacers on there. I guess you can see those right there. Hopefully I'll zoom in a little bit. And I don't know, they're the tallest ones I could find on Amazon. They're only like $11, $12, something like that. Just takes a few minutes to put them on. And what a world of difference it makes. So I would suggest putting that on there. And if you okay with gears, or if you want higher speeds, you may want to stick with the original. And you also had to swap out the chain too, because it wasn't big enough to accommodate the new sprocket. And I'm going to say the gear shifter made a lot of difference too on it, because it had that little portion that stuck out over here, and it doesn't seem like much, but the gear shifter is only, I don't know, like $10, $15 too. But it just makes the bike so much nicer. And I think what we're also going to do too is, you get that cheap carburetor sound from these things. Like when you open up the 150, you don't hear that direct engine, that garbly noise that comes out of them. And it just sounds cheap. So they have these universal air boxes, and they're not very much. They're only like, I don't know, about 15 bucks, something like that. So I think I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and find I gotta get the measurements for it, but find a universal air box that'll fit in this thing to get rid of that carburetor noise that comes out of it. Because the bike's really too nice to be sounding like that. Oh, another thing too is the battery on it no longer works. I don't think the bike's a month old, something like that. And it opened up. It's the same thing. I had a EGL 300, and I was at the track with it, and it died on me. And that was because the battery, it opened up. It'll show 11.5 volts when you measure it, but when you hit the starter on it, it's only got about 1.5 volts. So it's literally opened up inside of it. So we got another battery coming for it, but that's no big deal either. I think it's less than $25 for a battery. So for us, we'll probably have about what, I don't know, $75 or $50, something like that, in upgrade parts on this thing. And nah, it's gonna be more than that. I think that rear sprocket was about 20, and that chain also. So anyway, less than $100, put it that away, between all the upgrade parts on it, and it just makes the bike so much nicer. But anyway, guys, it's still well worth getting. Take care.